So this is a video showing you how to do mirror work to work on body neutrality and work towards the goal of body liberation and or just loving your body a little bit more. But the purpose of this exercise is to witness your thoughts and feelings about what you see about your body and to allow them to pass. So we're not trying to place any specific judgment on the thought or feeling or try to correct it even. We're not trying to arrive at a positive outcome or positive conclusion. We're just trying to let the thought happen and then continue to exist and survive and notice what it feels like to survive that experience. So I'm going to show you what this looks like by using the selfie mode on my phone. And I'm going to do this with a couple of different outfits. When you do mirror work, I think it's really important to be coming at it from a relatively neutral place. So you don't want to be doing mirror work when you just weighed yourself and you're concerned about what number you see. You don't want to be doing mirror work when you feel like nothing fits right and you're having a rough day with how you feel about your body and clothes. You don't want to be doing mirror work when you haven't eaten all day, or you're running on low sleep, or you just had an emotionally charged conversation. You want to have doesn't have to be super positive, but you want to have a pretty neutral emotional stance or pretty balanced nervous system before you engage in this work. If you're like, that's never the case, I always am upset about something, then try to find whatever's like kind of neutral for you, whatever feels like less volatile. That's a good time to do this work. So what I'm going to reflect to you is what I would do for my own mirror work. And I'm not going to be filtering what I'm thinking. I'm just going to say what I'm thinking out loud and then narrating my experience and letting that thought or emotion continue to pass. And I'm going to repeat that with one other outfit so you can see that in ways it might look different. So right now I'm wearing a kind of baggy dress. So there's pros and cons to that with mirror work because you can't see a lot of my body, but you'll see that I am wearing a sleeveless dress, so my arms are exposed. So there is some work I can do around that because historically my arms have been probably the second most, what's the word I'm looking for? Not hated, but the most triggering body part for me personally. So having my arms exposed is a great outfit to work with actually. So we're going to start there. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. Okay, so I'm looking at my body. I'm standing back enough that I can see myself from head to toe. I'm noticing my bangs feel a little bit messy, like I feel like I need to fix them. I'm noticing that my arms are exposed. I feel vulnerable when I do that, when I wear no sleeves. And if I'm looking up close, I'm noticing I have some bruising, probably from a workout. Not a big deal for me, but just noticing that. Turning to look at my arms from the side, I'm noticing I have some softness back here. That can feel uncomfortable for me to look at because in my mind, as I lift a lot, I feel like I should look muscular because of how often and much I lift. And I do look muscular sometimes, but the back of my arms are very soft. I have higher amounts of body fat back here. So I look soft in my arms. There's some skin stretching. I have some stretch marks. I'm just noticing. I'm not pointing these out as flaws, just noticing how my body looks. And hopefully the lighting is reflecting what I can see. I'm looking at my hands. Noticing I have some skin spots, some discoloration, some calluses from lifting. Overall, I feel pretty positive about my hands. When I look at them, I don't feel distressed. I'm looking at my other arm now. This arm is softer. I feel like this arm is more likely to look like it's less muscular. It's my left arm, it's my non-dominant arm. And I can tell just from my own experience looking at it, it's a little bit bigger than my right arm. And so sometimes when I look at my left arm, I feel more distress than I do looking at my right arm. And that's okay, it's just an arm. I notice there's like, this is my bone right here, and then there's some softness here, and there's this sort of like dimple where my elbow is. This is very much something that is common in my family. I see this type of elbow a lot. And when I see it in myself, I often feel like this doesn't look right. This looks like the wrong kind of elbow to have, because a lot of people have a bonier elbow than I do. Just have very soft arms and always have, regardless of my body size, and that's okay. That's just how my arms are. Move my hair out of the way so I can see a little bit closer. Noticing my necklace is kind of the way. Noticing that my skin feels really clear. I took a bath yesterday, so I feel like my skin is feeling healthy. That's neither necessarily good or bad, just feeling neutral about that. I'm noticing with this dress that's more fitted that I can see some softness here in my belly. And I should sit down in a minute so I can see what that looks like from a sitting down position. This dress is really baggy, so it's flowy. I'm not seeing a lot of shape here, so I'll probably come back and talk about this area when I switch outfits so I can see better. My feet are there. I'm noticing my feet, they feel bony. Like they have always been bony and wide and with high arches. And sometimes I feel like they don't fit the rest of my body because they seem more angular and not delicate, but more like artsy, more graceful potentially. And the rest of me is soft and thick, and so it feels like they don't match. And that's okay. Looking at my face, although lighting is tough. Looking at my face, I notice I'm getting some laugh lines, which I've had actually since I was in my early 20s. And I remember always thinking that means I've been smiling a lot, and I like that. It's just a neutral thing that I noticed. I have some like leftover spots where I had a little bit of a pimple or a zit, and it's starting to heal, so there's just some like rough texture discoloration that's happening. I really should move this here so you can see. I don't have a lot of makeup on, but I did put a little bit of foundation on, so this is not my raw skin. I probably should wash my face for another version of this. And I'm noticing that my neck is soft, and I have a little bit of this softness here that didn't used to be there. And so learning to accept that this is the way my face looks now. It's different than how it looked 5 years ago. My neck looks different than how it did 5 years ago. And some of that is getting older, my age, and some of that is my body size changing. So now that I've looked up at some of these details, I'm just noticing the whole again and saying to myself, this is my body. It exists. And this is okay. And it's okay if I feel distress about parts of my body. The world isn't ending. I don't have to change my plans if I'm feeling distress. I'm allowed to change my outfit or change maybe how I present myself to feel more comfortable out in the world, but I don't have to let how I'm feeling about my body right now completely change everything about myself or change my perceived value. All right, I'm gonna go change to do this again with a different outfit. Okay, so I have a different outfit. This is closer to what I would wear on a regular basis because I am a trainer and I'm working out at a gym. I wear this tank top a lot to lift, sometimes to run in, and I wear these shorts a lot when I'm running because when I'm running, sometimes leggings tend to like start sliding down and these shorts like stay up and on my body better. I think like something about the friction of the leggings are working themselves down. So anyway, So this outfit feels a little more vulnerable for me because it's showing more skin, and that makes it perfect for doing mirror work. By the way, you can also do mirror work completely naked. That's like diving in the deep end first, so I don't necessarily recommend starting there, but you can do that. A lot of people really recommend it. Obviously, I can't do that for the purposes of education with this video. So having a vulnerable outfit is a step in that direction in terms of how challenging this is for me. So I already did it once with the dress, and this is the same day, so I'm in a pretty much the same emotional place. But this outfit is more challenging for me. And actually, I feel like the angle makes it harder to see what I'm seeing exactly, so this is more straight on. Cool, so I'm just standing and looking at my body. I might do this more up close in a mirror, but for you to see, I'm standing further back. So a couple things I noticed right off the bat about my body is that because the shirt is pretty thin, there's some softness here in my belly, and the way that these shorts sit, it kind of naturally sits right here, and there's a little bit of rounding here, and that used to terrify me. And right now I'm feeling pretty neutral about it, which is a huge win. I'm also noticing as I step closer that, let me fix my bags. As I step closer, that because of the way the sports bra sits, there is some softness here in my armpit that didn't used to be there. So noticing that, letting that thought be like, that's new, that's different, I don't like it, or I could not like it, maybe old me would have hated it, and letting that pass. Same softness in the arms as before, so we'll move on from there. I'm very relaxed right now, so this softness here is more pronounced. When I'm flexing at the gym, it might look different, but I'm trying to be as natural as I can be right now. So let's back up a little bit. I mentioned earlier that my arms were it's probably the second most vulnerable part of doing this type of work for me. The most vulnerable is my legs. For a long time, I did not wear shorts that were shorter than me. I would buy men's basketball shorts to wear at the gym that hit my knee or lower. But I didn't start wearing bike shorts like this until really the last couple of years ago. I have had running shorts before, but I would always wear them with leggings underneath for the most part. And then even at my thinnest when I was running, I found that shorts did not work well for me because of chafing. And I also didn't like the way my legs looked, so I didn't wear shorts at all for a long time. So just wearing these and recording this video and putting it on YouTube is a big deal for me. That's a sign that I've come a long way. But back to the mirror work, I'm looking at my legs. I wish I could step closer and still have you see me. Let me fix this really quick. This is a very casual home style version of mirror work, as you can tell, which is how it should be. So I'm able to step closer here. So looking at my legs, I'm noticing right off the bat, there's a lot of cellulite or skin like divoting, little dimples in my legs. And all the women in my family have legs like this. This is just part of my genetics. And I used to think that if I was skinny, that would go away. And then I lost a lot of weight and it didn't. Actually, I always had cellulite and like soft legs. And that's okay. So just noticing that I've always had some softness here on the knee. And again, like the elbows, used to look at this and think that's the wrong way to have a knee. Knees should be bony. There shouldn't be this softness here. And actually lots of knees are soft, and that's okay. Let's see if I can turn around and still look. So looking at the back, my legs, noticing again some skin striations and softness here. And then my calves a little bit. Calves are not as pronounced with that. Also, I have a very translucent skin. You can see that like I'm a little bit darker here. My legs are really white because I don't wear shorts a lot. And so sometimes I see that white skin, like that's super translucent, and feel a little self-conscious about that, but not enough to actually go get a tan or do like a spray tan or anything. So I'm noticing that very pale, very translucent. You can kind of see up close. There's like veins you can see through my skin because of how translucent my skin is. And I forgot to sit down earlier, so let me do that here so you can see. And again, I'm noticing softness here. Softness, lots of softness. Sitting down. I think for me, sitting down and looking at a picture of myself or looking in the mirror feels really vulnerable. I'm definitely one of those people that likes to do this when I go to someone's house. Partly like as a sensory experience, it feels like safe and comforting. And partly because this feels very vulnerable. There's nothing hiding me from you or from myself if this is mirror work. So I'm sitting in the mirror and looking, noticing some softness here. Again, I'm totally relaxed. I could flex and try to make this look aesthetically pleasing as possible. I'm not going to do that because that's not the point of mirror work. The point of mirror work is just to exist and not try to doctor up what you're seeing, not trying to change what you're seeing. So more softness here. I noticed that my legs have this little divot from the shorts. Not digging in, it's not uncomfortable, but it makes the softness look more pronounced, and that's okay. And again, that waistline. Sometimes this does become physically uncomfortable, like it's not digging in harshly, but I just feel like it's cutting me in half a little bit. So I like to take the shorts higher purely for comfort reasons. But it also does change the way it looks, and we could definitely dissect that. Also, when I'm sitting, there's more softness here in my hips, and it's easier to see as I'm sitting here. This sitting used to be here. This is new for the last 5 years. I mean, I had it a long time ago, but as an adult, this feels new. And this is the first time I've had this feeling of there's more here and not felt like I immediately needed to change it or that it was the wrong way to be. So for me, that is a lot of growth. Sitting from the side gives me a lot of options here. I'm just noticing, in addition to the rolls and softness, that I'm thicker, like I'm wider this way. That feels uncomfortable, honestly, because I'm not used to seeing myself from this angle very often. Also noticing the way my arms sit up against my body, it makes them kind of spread out more. I'm very self-conscious about that. And somehow just saying that out loud to you, but also to myself, feels like it lets go of some of that shame, which is why I'm recording this, because I want you to be able to do that as well. Just seeing it and saying, yep, that's what my arm does. I don't even have to say that's okay. Just acknowledging that reality, that that's what my arm does. My arm is wide here at the top and soft. And that's how it is. Also, because of the way the sports bra sits, there's more softness here in the back and sort of in the armpit area than I've ever had before as an adult for an extended period of time. And so having to get used to, as I'm moving, like doing a row or something, my arm running into this sort of like side boob area. I don't have enough of it to like need to pick it up and move it out of the way to do things a lot of the times, but that is a strategy that I recommend to a lot of people for certain movements to make them more accessible and like more comfortable. For me, it's more just like a visual challenge, like, oh, that's new. Another thing I'm noticing is that the sports bra is kind of old, so it's not as supportive as it could be. And it's okay. I don't have to have super perky boobs all the time to be working out at the gym or looking cool. They're allowed to just be how they are. It's not uncomfortable for me to move, like I'm not uncomfortable. So I still wear them. They're still functional. Okay, so to round out this mirror practice, I'm just going to take a moment to breathe with myself. So I'm not going to talk for a minute. if it helps or you want to, you can have some kind of mantra that you close this out with. I'm just making this up as I go along, but something like, I honor my body for who it is today. What I'm seeing is my current reality. Or this is me, and that's okay. Something that helps you kind of put an end to this ritual or process so that you can move on with your day and you're able to kind of let this be the time that it was, but not necessarily carry it forward with you if you don't want to. So taking a moment of closure. And then moving on. And that's it. That's the practice. So I hope that you will take the opportunity to try this for yourself. Please add on or take away any amount of things that will help you make this feel more accessible or just more effective for yourself. And I'd love to hear in the comments what those things are. And let me know if this helped you.